Texas House meets to resume redistricting efforts Part 2. Todd Hunter, R., defends redistricting plan.
Page 10 of your manual. State your inquiry.
The explanatory notes govern the rules in this House?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. That's bullshit.
Ms. Hinojosa, for what purpose?
Parliamentary inquiry.
State your inquiry.
If I attempt to leave this chamber today without signing a permission slip, am I subject to arrest by the government?
As I stated today, no one will be able to leave the chamber without a permission slip.
Mr. Speaker.
So notice for what purpose?
Parliamentary inquiry.
State your inquiry.
Why is an arrest under the call of the House not prohibited by Article 3, Section 14 of the Texas Constitution that prohibits members from being arrested during the legislative session?
So that is a general question that the chair declines to answer.
Mr. Speaker.
So for what purpose?
If I attempt to leave this floor today with this call of the House on me, why am I not protected from arrest by Article 3, Section 14 of the Texas Constitution that prohibits the arrest of members during the legislative session?
That is a hypothetical and general question. As previously stated, the chair declines to answer those.
Mr. Speaker.
Ms. Hinojosa, for what purpose?
Can I walk out right now of this House without being arrested, or am I protected by Article 3 of Section 14 of the Texas Constitution?
There are separate provisions under the Constitution that provide for maintaining and compelling a quorum. They are separate. Ms. Hinojosa, as previously stated under the call of the House, there are permission slips that you are welcome to take. Okay. All right, we're good. Mr. Morgan, for what purpose?
Parliamentary inquiry.
State your inquiry.
Isn't it true the members that just came back here and are upset about the rules actually voted for those rules?
That is not a proper parliamentary inquiry.
Thank you.
Chair lays out on second reading House Bill 4.
HB number 4 by Hunter, relating to the composition of the districts for the...
Back up, members. Mr. Guerin for a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. Mr. Speaker, I move that the House grant permission for all committees and subcommittees to meet while the House is in session through and including Monday, August 25th, pursuant to their committee postings. I move passage.
Members, you've heard the motion. Is there any objection? There is objection. There is a record vote requested. Clerk, please ring the bell. Show Mr. Guerin voting aye, Mr. Hunter voting aye, Mr. Harris voting aye. Show Mr. McQueenie voting aye. Show Mr. King voting aye. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? There being 92 ayes and 44 nays, the motion prevails. Chair lays out on second reading House Bill 4.
HB number 4 by Hunter, relating to the composition of the districts for the election of members of the United States House of Representatives from the state of Texas.
Chair recognizes Mr. Hunter to explain the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, I believe according to the rules, I will have 20 minutes. I'm going to give a short opening because many of you have not been involved, and I want you to know exactly what's happening. We are here today to take up the congressional plan. This plan I'm about to lay out was introduced by myself on Monday, August 18th, and it was passed by the House Select Committee on Congressional Redistricting on August 18th. Due to the governor's proclamation, the House studied the current Texas congressional districts. This plan originated in the first called special session before the chamber lacked a quorum. Due to the available time, which we all need to remember, we're in 30-day special sessions. In the first called session, and I want all of you to know this, members, in the first called session, we held 3 public hearings. We were not required to hold those hearings. So 3 hearings were held for the public, no requirement for those hearings. All sessions, anyone was invited to register and testify. Arrangements were made for anyone to submit written comments. One session we allowed remote witness presentations. One session was held on Saturday, and one session was held after normal working hours. All members of the committee were offered the opportunity to state their views, question. Other interested of the members of the House were allowed to attend and participate. After the public hearings during the first called special, the committee held a 12-plus hour hearing to allow further testimony once the plan was introduced. All sessions were live streamed and recorded, and Red Apple was open for use. As well, at these hearings, we heard testimony from a number of members and witnesses, including Congress. At the outset, it's important to note that redistricting can be done at any point in time. Let me repeat that, members. Redistricting can be done at any point in time. And I want everybody to know this. You want transparency? Here's the U.S. Supreme Court legal transparency. The underlying goal of this plan is straightforward: improve Republican political performance. Now, when drawing congressional districts, we have to look at them a little different when it comes to population requirements. We have to draw districts with population as nearly equal as possible to the ideal district size. This is different than when you do state legislative districts. The ideal size for a congressional district is about 766,987. The plan before you meets the population requirements for one person, one vote under the U.S. Constitution. If somebody proposes an amendment, they will need to meet the same requirements. We are allowed to draw congressional districts on the basis of political performance as recognized by the U.S. Supreme Court in Rucho versus Common Cause. These districts were drawn primarily using political performance to guide the redrawing of districts. Also, the Fifth Circuit in Petaway versus Galveston indicates that the law has changed. The court held that Section 2 does not require us to draw coalition districts. So giving partisan political performance as an acceptable reason and clarification from these courts, we have redrawn the congressional map with that emphasis. Another important law is the Voting Rights Act. Although race cannot be the predominant factor in drawing maps, Section 2 of the Act prohibits enactment of any plan that restricts minority citizens from having an opportunity to elect their preferred candidate of choice if certain circumstances exist. This plan includes political considerations, public testimony, recognition of population growth, and recent changes in voter trends. Now let's talk about this map. 37 of the 38 congressional districts have changed to some degree. The primary changes are focused on only 5 districts for partisan purposes. It is important to note, please note, members, 4 of the 5 new districts are majority minority Hispanic, what we call CVAP districts. That's a citizen voting age population. Each of these newly drawn districts now trend Republican in political performance. While there's no guarantee of an electorate success, Republicans will now have an opportunity to potentially win these districts. The 5 new districts, we have CD9, 50.15%, what we call Hispanic citizen voting age population, that's HCVAP. CD28, which is approximately 86.72% HCVAP. CD32 remains a non-minority district. CD34, 71.93% HCVAP. CD35, 51.57% HCVAP. This also improves political performance for Republicans in districts CD2, 8, 9, 17, 22, 38. Some data points in comparison to 2021. In 2021, there were 9 Hispanic majority age districts. In this plan, there are 10 Hispanic majority age districts. In the 2021 plan, there were 7 Hispanic citizen voting age districts, and under this plan, there are 8. There are no black CVAP districts under the 2021 plan. In the proposed plan, there are 2 majority black CVAP districts. CD18, 50.71% black CVAP compared to 38.99% in 2021. CD30, 50.41% black CVAP, 46% in 2021. In the Harris County, Houston area, there are currently what they call 2 coalition districts and 1 Hispanic CVAP district. In the proposed plan, CD18 becomes a new black CVAP district, CD9 becomes a new HCVAP district, and CD29 becomes a majority Hispanic VAP district. That's voting age population, which should continue their political performance. CD9, 50.15% HCVAP, CD18, 50.71% black CVAP, CD29, 43.45 HCVAP, and 32.69% black CVAP, all surrounding Republican districts to continue to perform for the Republicans. This is a good plan. I urge its adoption. But Mr. Speaker, members, according to the U.S. Supreme Court, you can use political performance. And that is what we've done. I'll answer questions.
Mr. Romero, for what purpose? Ms. Thompson, for what purpose?
Mr. Speaker, does the gentleman yield?
Gentleman yield for questions?
Yes.
Gentleman yields for questions.
Mr. Chairman, who decided that these should be changes made from the introduction version of this bill?
Who decided the plan?
Who decided that there should be changes made from the introduction version of the bill?
I do not know who decided, but it had been discussed since April that congressional redistricting could be an issue, especially with the new case law and the new population trends, and I made the decision that I would file this bill.
Mr. Chairman, when the first call session, special session, the committee produced a bill where they had indicated there would be 5 new congressional districts for Republicans. Subsequently thereto, a second special session was called. Upon meeting of the committee, there was a vote taken on a amended part of a bill that had been previously voted out on the first special session of this year. Who made a decision to amend the bill from the first called special session?
Me and the lawyers.
Pardon me?
Me and the lawyers.
And what was the rationale for the changes of you and the lawyers?
Well, if what we're talking about is there was a committee substitute that was adopted on Monday, it increased Republican political performance. Legally, I was told that it would follow the case law, and nobody was here for 18 days. And so my view is we're given every opportunity we can. Nobody met with me. Nobody came in. And so I talked to the lawyers, and we increased Republican political performance, and we increased the map from where it was. So I would say me and the lawyers.
So you had to go in and look at precincts to do this, correct? You had to go in and look at precincts in order to make those changes.
I would say, Dean, that I visited with counsel, and they and their resources looked at the specifics.
And who made a decision on what precincts will go into that amended map? I think it was what, 2333?
Counsel.
Council and council alone? There was no input by you?
Well, I mean, I told them I wanted to increase Republican political performance, and I'm not involved in the specifics. And I asked, as everybody in here does when you hire a lawyer, this is my goal, can you accomplish it? And they did it, and I asked them to follow the law, follow Rucho, follow Petaway, and this was the map that was developed.
So what you're telling the House is that you and you alone made a decision to make those changes?
No. As I just said, I made the decision to look at this map. Can we increase Republican performance since nobody was around and that we had a walkout? They then went to work, came up, and increased the Republican performance.
So when did you make a decision that you needed to make a change in the map from the first special session to the second special session?
The walkout occurred August 3rd. It was probably a couple of days after that.
On August the 3rd, subsequently to that, didn't we have hearings? Or was that
No,
the
nobody
last?
was here. It was a quorum break. We couldn't do anything, couldn't meet, couldn't let the public have hearings. Nobody could meet with me. Nobody could provide an amendment. So we had to just do things on our own.
So there were no input. I think what you're telling me is there was no input by the Speaker. There was no input by the Lieutenant Governor. There was only input by you and the person that you indicated helped you draw the changes, and you alone made a decision that there should be some changes to the map that was a part of the first special session.
That's not what I said. I said...
Oh, I'm so sorry. What did you say then?
I said exactly what you know I said.
No, I don't know what you said.
Yes, I did. If you'd been here for 18 days, you would have known. Number one, I decided to take a look at this map to see if we could increase Republican performance. I can tell you a lot of people wanted to increase Republican performance. I can't tell you everybody that has raised that issue. I went to the lawyers, said, we have a plan, can we increase it, and would it be legal? They said they would look at it, came back and told me this plan is legal.
Well, based upon the testimony that I think that the committee held, the 3 hearings, based upon the testimony that we heard, based upon what was supposed to have been submitted as written testimony, it is my understanding that there was a 100-to-1 not to make changes in the maps. Am I missing something?
Yeah, you missed 88 Republican members that didn't get an opportunity as well either.
But
you held public hearings, Dean, that were not required. The chairman of the committee decided to include the public.
But
I'm glad he did. But just because certain groups come in, and if you remember, there was certainly a lot of publicity that I can't remember the source yet, but I think it'd be checked, that there were certain third-party organizations paying and getting field advisors to come into these hearings to take a political stance. So if they're going to use the political under Rucho, so can we.
But were the 88 members who are members of this body denied the right to come and testify before that committee?
No, but they've been here the whole time, and they have been wanting to move this. I'm just glad I'm able to get this particular plan, because it may get reviewed again.
Were their constituents denied the right to come and participate in the hearings?
What's that? I couldn't
Were
hear.
their constituents denied the right to participate in those hearings?
That I don't know, because I just presented the bill. I don't know.
Were their constituents denied the right to submit their opinion or testimony to the committee?
I don't think so, but again, I was just presenting the bill. That was not my function.
But you made the statement that they were not a part of it.
I didn't say they were not important. In fact, in the hearing, as you recall, I made a big statement that I thought they were important, and even though there was opposition, I was glad they came, and some of the information in this map came from those hearings. So I disagree with you 100%. I'm glad we did the hearings. I'm glad we got the input, and I'm glad that a lot of people submitted it in writing. So absolutely was taken in. Just because somebody agrees or disagrees with me doesn't mean that I'm not going to listen. And in fact, I offered at the hearing for members to come visit with me and members to come talk with me. And if they needed to bring somebody in, that they could. I did hear from some Republicans.
Well, to agree and disagree is a part of our democratic process.
Absolutely.
Okay, and they did have an opportunity, if had they wanted to come.
Yes, I do agree that they have.
Mr. Chairman, let me draw your attention to Congressional District Number 9. I noticed in the Congressional District Number 9, in your amendment 2333, you discussed in committee that your map draws this to be a Hispanic majority district. Is that correct?
Are you talking about the bill that is right here today?
Yeah, I'm talking about that amendment that was voted out of committee.
Well, we didn't do an amendment. We did a committee substitute.
The substitute.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think the number was 2333.
I think that's the map number is Plan C 2333.
Yeah, that's the one we own. That's what I'm talking about. And you indicated today that you all reconfigured that to be a Hispanic majority district, correct?
We said that Hispanic CVAP under the committee substitute would be 50.15%.
And you have said in your brief that the Latino population in Texas support Republicans.
That said that
in your brief.
In my brief.
Then you say that I've heard you say that the Latinos tend to support Republicans.
Well, not me, but I certainly welcome all of them being a South Texan, and I do think political performance and trend is going that direction to support Republicans, absolutely. But
well,
I don't know what you mean. I don't think I said somebody preferred. I think there is a political performance that's showing preference to certain Republicans in different regions of the state based on everybody.
And are you talking about the racial polarization analysis?
Well, I don't know what you mean by racial polarization analysis. I know about data that was done by HCVAP, HVAP, Black CVAP, and Black VAP, which is a little bit different. That's what I'm relying on.
Well, this is analysis that is normally utilized when they're drawing to see what is the performance of different race. They're looking at dilution and inclusions and things of this nature. And they show that in CD9, the person that you pull in have more of a tendency to vote Democratic than Republican. And pulling in that percentage of Latinos in Congressional District 9, the new configured District 9, will show that if they are a part of that congressional district, that their voting power may be diluted. Are you aware of that?
I'm not real clear on that. Are you? I don't think there's a dilution. Political performance is what this is. CD9, the Hispanic CVAP, is 50.15%. It's a new Hispanic CVAP. Liberty County is now in CD9. There does show in this CD Republican partisan performance. Previously, though, CD9 was not a majority of a single group. So now they are.
Gentleman's time has expired.
Mr. Speaker,
Todd, for what purpose?
I move that the time be extended.
Members, you heard the motion. Is there objection? Chair is not so. There is objection. Members, that will require a record vote. Clerk, ring the bell. So Representative Hunter voting aye. So Mr. Vasut voting aye. Mr. Tinderholt voting aye. Mr. Alcott voting aye. Show the Speaker voting aye. Lopez voting aye. Toth voting aye. Swanson voting aye. Have all members voted? Ms. Schaffner voting aye. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? 136 ayes and 1 nay. The motion prevails.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, ma'am.
may I know some of my colleagues, other colleagues have questions to ask you, but I want to continue asking maybe a little later. I'm going to let some others ask questions. Okay.
Mr. Speaker,
Mr. Rivera, for what purpose?
does the gentleman yield for questions?
Gentleman yield for questions?
Yes.
Gentleman yields for questions.
Chairman Hunter, I'm a little troubled. I've never heard anyone say in this body, and you've certainly been here longer than I have, but for you to say that you're not required to have hearings, I understand that may be a fact, but I don't understand that to be Texan. I don't understand that to be something that we would not welcome opinions of the public. And yet we did hold 3 public hearings. So with all due respect, Mr. Chairman, when you say that this was just you and the lawyers, what would you tell any Texan? Because I believe every person that testified under oath. Is that correct?
That I don't know. I hope they did.
Well, if they registered to testify before any committee in this House, they do have to register under oath that what they say is true and correct. Is that correct?
I follow the House rules like you, but you're asking me a personal question. I don't run the committee. I'm sure Mr. Vasut did